take, fellas.
Look at over 3,000 attendance here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for the Tumble and Rumble, the women's gymnastics meet between Minnesota and Nebraska. And Nebraska leads Northwestern in the Big Ten wrestling duel 33-6. We talked about at the beginning, Jim, Nebraska having a ranked wrestler at every weight.
Yeah, they, again, heavily favored the back part of this meet. Northwestern showing signs, particularly in that last match with Sliga Barnes, where he was able to tire out Barnes quite a bit, but the higher-ranked wrestlers are coming through.
Berkowitz, what a big outing he had last week. Northwestern trailing Illinois by a point at 197. They had a back and forth with Lee, the 97-pounder for Illinois, and a big fall in the third period for Berkowitz put Northwestern out in front by 5 points going to heavyweight, and then Illinois' heavyweight, Brooks Black, gets a first period pin to have Illinois win by a point over Northwestern.
You know, when you wrestle the Huskers, you got to be aware that they're going to go ahead and work with that front headlock position. They're going to try to control that head, like you can see with Studebaker there with that right arm. And they shuck it, and they move to the leg or go behind. And then what you saw there with Dudley there, if you leave that knee up at all, he's going to lock up and slap up that cradle. And we've seen him do it a couple times now, really putting some guys away. But that's, you know, you look at signature technique from the program, you say, that's the Huskers really are kind of masters in that. They work really well in that front headlock position. I won't say masters, but I'm just saying that that's just a signature of their program.
It's certainly a go-to move right out of the gate when they're wrestling. And there's a nice shot by Berkowitz.
He has the advantage being cleared that right ankle. You know, you see that now Studebaker's got his head up a little bit. Now he's put the leg in. He should be able to finish this up. But now Studebaker's got one last crack. He's got to get the stirrups off the saddle. He's able to go ahead and put him in a pretty good position. He kept his head up. Good work.
Stalemate. Studebaker out of Raymond, Nebraska. Raymond Central High School up against Jacob Berkowitz, the redshirt junior from Scarsdale, New York. Had to be pretty thrilling for Berkowitz to get that pin in the third period last week against Illinois. And it had to even be a bigger thrill for Brooks Black to get that fall for a walk-off win for Illinois. But the heartbreak for Northwestern, another 1-point loss. And yet, Jim, you've pointed out, and we've been talking about, there's been some positive things here for Matt Storniolo, even though the scoreboard doesn't show it at all.
Well, one of this is just going neutral in this first period here. Berkowitz has been, you know, he had the best shot.
And that comes off last week's, I mean, that charged him.
Yeah, well, you know, he's finding his way.
Guys, make sure we pause, all right?
You know, I looked off to my right here. We're right by the Nebraska, the Northwestern bench. You know, another stabilizing presence in this Northwestern program through all the transition has been Timmy Zazeski.
No question, no question.
Athletic director, you know, slash assistant coach, and probably, you know, not your average assistant coach in tenure and leadership ability, but, you know, he's been a stabilizing force. And, you know, he was the first guy up off the bench when Sliga was getting back into that match with Barnes at 174. You know, I know that he's got an opportunity. Berkowitz got an opportunity to go ahead and score here. Now, actually, Studebaker does. He allows his ankles to get tied up. Studebaker elbow deep around that ankle, right? And that grip around that left ankle right here is the only thing that's keeping.
And now the cradle getting locked up by Studebaker.
And it's a bottom leg cradle. You see a lot of guys get pinned off that. You got to go elbow deep around the knee, and he's not there. But he may go over anyway, just by the effort.
Does not get the count. He rolls through, Berkowitz does. Nice job.
But he gets the takedown. right? So
Studebaker out front now, 2-1 with that takedown. Berkowitz got to escape to begin the second period.
Fun match.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you get back to that cradle. You hook up a bottom leg cradle, young wrestlers at home, is you want to get elbow deep around that bottom knee, and you can see that Studebaker wasn't quite able to go ahead and do that. He went around the ankle and just tried to run it over.
How good is Studebaker? This last month, he went a tiebreaker overtime loss to the #1 ranked wrestler in the nation, Morgan McIntosh from Penn State, almost taking him down, and came close to beating the #1 ranked wrestler, having a good year. There's Timmy Szyzeski.
Take a look at that. You had the opportunity to see this. This is what I'm talking about. See how Studebaker is elbow deep around that ankle right there? Okay, now he puts himself into a bottom leg cradle. He locks the cradle up, but he's still around the ankle, right? If he could adjust that, get his elbow around the knee, I've seen a lot of great wrestlers get pinned if they could just go ahead and readjust. He had the rip lock, you know, and we're back with action, but so I got caught into the replay there, but
3-1, Studebaker with that escape.
I saw at least 4 or 5. 8 seconds. We're going to fix riding time.
Riding time, a little bit of difficulty there again. This Northwestern bench is into the match.
Yes, they are. The matches within the matches, and that's the way you got to keep the morale up and keep everything going, because they're wrestling to try to get the wrestlers qualified for the NCAAs, but they're also wrestling as they're building the foundation for the coming years as well. A lot of young wrestlers on this Northwestern team.
Advantage position for Studebaker. Actually got it on the leg, but now Berkowitz has kind of turned it into an attack of his own right now. He's got an opportunity to come back through. Maybe even do a whip over. Actually knee tap, and then
Time has been fixed.
What does he have as far as his go-to shot?
Less than a minute left in regulation. Studebaker out front, 3-1.
Got to really be active here. Now Berkowitz in on the shot. He's dropping his shoulder. He's in good position. Got to come up. Maybe limp that right arm out. For caution to the wind at this point. You may not get a better opportunity than this to be able to tie the match up. Now he's trying to limp the arm out. Studebaker keeping his balance and then dives off.
Nice effort by Berkowitz there. He's doing just what you were talking about, Jim, and almost made it work. Matt Stoneriolo and Mark Manning cheering their wrestlers on at 197 pounds.
Well, knowing that, Tim, you just got to go ahead and encourage your guy to go ahead and get that shot off. You don't really care. You can't wait for the last 10 seconds. You got to do it now. Studebaker holding on. You know, another opportunity where the Wildcats have kind of fought themselves back into a match. Even though they're going to lose, they're going to end up being pretty competitive physically against the ranked wrestler.
Stay center, stay center.
And Studebaker from Nebraska gets the win with riding time. It's 4-1. There's Studebaker, the winner. Aaron Studebaker, the junior, out of Raymond, Nebraska, gets the win for Nebraska. And now the score 36-6. Huskers lead the Wildcats.